Welcome to the QuickLane Vehicle Inspection Training video. This presentation will describe the process and procedures for performing the QuickLane vehicle inspection using the Vehicle Checkup Form, also known as the VCU. The QuickLane Vehicle Checkup Report is a tool developed to help service technicians inspect a vehicle's condition. Its use demonstrates our professionalism and emphasizes the difference between doing business with QuickLane and other fast lube facilities. During your previous training, you've learned the content and the function of the VCU form. This includes to communicate vehicle conditions to every customer, to provide a snapshot of vehicle condition and identify needed repairs, to identify sales opportunities, to provide customers with an early warning system of future recommended repairs, and to enhance scheduled maintenance reminders. QuickLane surveys have determined that customers want an expert to look at their vehicle and to communicate the results of that inspection. You're the expert, and the customer wants to know what you find. A completely filled out VCU gives the customer the confidence that you are doing that complete inspection. Performing the inspection quickly and efficiently gives the customer the convenience that they sometimes feel is only available in the aftermarket. This video will present a logical sequence for performing the inspections listed on the VCU form. It demonstrates how to do so in a manner that will optimize your efficiency and reduce the time required to perform these checks. These inspections can be performed with maximum efficiency if you learn what to look for and how to best utilize your time. Remember, as you perform more inspections, you'll become more efficient when performing them. This video presentation will focus on the process and time utilization when performing a VCU inspection. All specifications for wear and damage can't be presented in this format. Please refer to your technical training for specific serviceability criteria for vehicle components and systems. A famous ball player once said, "You hit home runs not by chance, but by preparation." That saying applies to most everything, including efficiently performing QuickLane VCU inspections. Here we can see our QuickLane service technician preparing his inspection cart with the tools and equipment needed to effectively perform VCU inspections. Let's look at what his cart contains: a tire depth gauge, a digital tire air pressure gauge, a coolant hydrometer, a digital brake rotor micrometer, oil filter wrenches, torque sticks, torque wrenches, a flashlight, the Rotunda EXP 890 battery tester with printer, an impact gun, and various wrenches for removing oil drain plugs and differential fill plugs. By placing these tools on a portable cart, this QuickLane service technician has prepared his tools for easy access to help expedite his performance of VCU inspections. QuickLane values our service technicians. We realize that the quality of our QuickLane service technicians provides our customers with the convenience with confidence that we need in order to stand out in the light maintenance and repair field. With this in mind, we're going to present a real-time VCU inspection on this 2008 Ford Fusion. Vince, the service technician in the video, had performed a total of 5 VCU inspections before the video was shot. We've inserted an on-screen clock of the VCU inspection process so you can verify that this was done in real time. Times will vary based on the condition and the type of vehicle that you're working on. Although trucks and four-wheel drive vehicles may require additional steps, the inspection process shown in this video is applicable to all the vehicles that you'll see. With the vehicle on the hoist, Vince begins the inspection by checking wiper and washer operation. Beeping the horn verifies its operation and lets his partner Jim know that he's ready to check the lights. Vince applies the brakes, turn signals, and places the vehicle in reverse while Jim verifies operation of the rear lights. Vince verifies front light operation using the reflection on the wall. Once the interior checks are completed, Vince releases the hood and leaves the engine running for his first underhood check. As he exits the vehicle, he views the tire inflation placard and notes the factory specs for the tire air pressures. After opening the hood, Vince checks the level and condition of the automatic transmission fluid. Once this check is complete, he returns to the driver's side and shuts off the engine. Vince now sets up the front hoist pad on the driver's side of the vehicle. As he returns to the front of the vehicle, he performs a jounce test to help determine the condition of the left front shock. Next, Vince checks the condition and load of the vehicle's battery. He does this using the Rotunda EXP890, which provides him with exact readings to measure the condition of the battery at that point in time. Notice Vince moves in one direction when doing the tests. This minimizes wasted movement and helps him remember which check to perform next. Another great feature of the Rotunda EXP890 is that it can be used to print the test results. The printout provides the customer with visual evidence of their battery's condition. Now Vince begins his other underhood checks by removing and inspecting the air filter. While this process varies between vehicles, it is a critical maintenance item that should never be overlooked. Vince has found that the air filter should be replaced and leaves it out so it can be shown to the customer. Next, he checks the condition and levels of the fluids, including brake fluid, power steering fluid, engine coolant, and washer fluid. While under the hood, he also looks at the condition of the hoses, motor mounts, and the serpentine belt. Vince checks the engine oil, noting its level, and also looking for contaminants such as engine coolant that could indicate other problems. Note that he leaves the oil fill and washer fluid caps off to remind himself that these fluids need to be filled during service. Using a hydrometer, Vince tests the engine coolant's effectiveness and condition. He also looks for contamination that could indicate an engine cooling or transmission problem. Pulling the dipstick slightly out of its tube allows the engine oil to drain more quickly. He now takes a minute to note the red, yellow, or green status of the items he's inspected. Filling out the form during the inspection will help prevent forgetting items and their condition. He also notes the tire pressure specs that were listed on the tire placard he viewed earlier. Vince performs a jounce test on the right front shock, then moves along the right side and sets up the hoist pads. Next, he jounces the right rear shock, then the left rear. He then sets up the left rear hoist pad. Notice that he works in the direction of his motion. This provides a logical sequence for his inspection and reduces the time it takes to complete specific tasks. As Vince raises the car, he safety checks the stability of the vehicle on the hoist just after it comes off the ground. At QuickLane, we never sacrifice safety for speed. Notice that Vince has left the bad air filter visible outside the air cleaner. He did this because any component that's in a red condition should be left with its area unfinished until the customer has made a decision about whether to have the needed service performed. Vince also left the washer fluid cap off as a reminder to fill it when servicing the vehicle. After setting the locks on the hoist, Vince places the oil drain bucket underneath the vehicle. Notice that the bucket has a telescoping neck. As you'll see shortly, this feature is important to expedite the inspection. He now removes the engine oil drain plug and allows the oil to drain. As the oil drains, Vince begins his undercar inspection. This includes ball joints, control arms and bushings, CV boots, tie rods, and shocks and springs. He also keeps an eye out for any leaks or undercar damage. Moving rearward, Vince inspects the condition and security of the exhaust system, including its clamps and covers. At the back of the vehicle, he inspects the shocks and springs, the differential if the vehicle has one, U-joints if the vehicle is rear-wheel drive, and looks for damage to the sway bars and bushings. Returning to the front, he now lowers the oil drain bucket to a reduced height in preparation for lowering the car. He then returns to the VCU form to document his results. Note that he has not hurried through any of these processes so far. Although there will be variations between vehicles, he has maintained a steady pace and utilized economy of motion throughout the inspection process. Vince now lowers the hoist to a level where the tire removal can be performed without excess strain. He begins the tire inspection by looking for unusual wear spots. He then checks the condition of the steering and suspension components. Next, he checks tire depth in at least 3 positions in the tire's inner, center, and outer grooves. He's also looking for damage and unusual wear patterns and notes the age of the tire and the dot number. Next, he checks the tire air pressure. Returning to his cart, Vince retrieves his impact wrench and the appropriate socket for the vehicle. He then removes the right front tire. Note that he places his impact gun within easy reach of the next tire he'll remove. After removing the tire, he rolls it towards its destination in the tire rotation process. However, keep in mind that on the VCU form, the tire condition will always be shown at the tire's original location. The brake inspection process includes looking at the rotors for wear and damage and using the brake measurement gauge to determine if the brakes are green, yellow, or red. He now moves to the right rear tire to repeat the inspection process on the tires and brakes there. After removing the lug nuts, Vince positions the impact wrench within easy reach of the next tire to be removed, then moves the tire in the direction that it will be mounted after being rotated. He then repeats all the brake inspection procedures for that wheel. If brake pad wear is either yellow or red, rotor or drum measurements must be made to determine their serviceability. Your service advisor must know if rotors or drums can be resurfaced or if they must be replaced before speaking with the customer. Vince notes tire depth on the VCU based on the tire's original location. This prevents confusion if the customer is brought back to view tire wear or damage. After completing the portion of the form pertaining to the right wheels and brakes, Vince moves to the left rear to perform the inspection process there. Note the time on the clock and the frame. These inspections are being performed in real time. At QuickLane, we recognize that VCU inspection times will vary by vehicle equipment. But remember, we're not selling speed. We're selling quality and confidence. Sitting on a couch waiting for your car for an extra 5 minutes is much more comfortable than sitting on the side of the road waiting for a tow truck. At QuickLane, customers can see you performing the inspection. Your thoroughness and efficiency will emphasize your professionalism and make a positive impression. Vince now repeats the inspection to the left front tire and brakes. As we watch Vince repeat the inspection, we'd like to remind our QuickLane service technicians that knowledge is power, and you empower yourself by becoming certified in vehicle service specialties. Ford Motor Company offers the best web-based and instructor-led training in the automotive industry. Taking these courses and becoming proficient in different automotive service specialties enhances your skill as a service professional. This commitment to yourself will reward you personally as well as professionally throughout your career. Check the STARS training path for more details. Upon completion of the final tire and brake inspection, Vince returns to the VCU form to finish filling in the appropriate data. He attaches the Rotunda EXP 890 printout for the vehicle's battery to the clipboard and then takes the VCU form to the front to be reviewed by the service advisor and the customer. This completes the inspection. Notice the air filter is out, the washer fluid cap is off, and the tires are still off. The service needs to continue, but the inspection is done. This gives your service advisor the opportunity to sell the needed work while the vehicle is still on the lift. Once the vehicle is buttoned up, the likelihood of the customer buying those needed services drops. As you've just seen, our service technician did a complete VCU inspection in about 16 minutes. It wasn't hurried, and no trick photography was used. After delivering the VCU form to the service advisor, Vince returns to the vehicle and completes the service by replacing the oil filter, filling the engine oil, and begins reassembling the vehicle. However, he doesn't reassemble any components or systems that were found to be yellow or red because he's waiting for word from the service advisor on the customer's decision. Additionally, the air pressure and condition of the spare tire should be checked. All components that are found to be yellow or red are left visible so that the service advisor can show them to the customer. This provides the customer with the opportunity to have the vehicle serviced while it's already on the hoist and partially disassembled. There may be times when the service advisor will bring the customer to the vehicle, who in turn may ask for your opinion on the condition of a component or system. Remember, you're the expert and your opinion is very important. Your explanation should be brief and precise. Sometimes you may want to display a new component so the customer can see the problem for themselves. Other times, you may be asked what could happen if the part isn't serviced right away. Politely answer the customer's questions, provide your opinions, and then turn the customer back over to the service advisor. Don't overtalk the situation. Let the service advisor do their job and complete the sales process. We hope this demonstration provides you with a realistic evaluation of the QuickLane VCU inspection process. Performing a VCU inspection on every vehicle that comes to your facility will have a major impact on your bottom line. Increased inspections equal increased profits. The reason customers come to QuickLane is not because we guarantee we're the fastest. They come to us because we're the best. Providing an honest evaluation of a vehicle's condition will increase your profits, provide your customers with the convenience of quality vehicle service, and give them confidence in their vehicle's reliability. To see how to reduce VCU inspection time even further, view the two-technician VCU inspection in real-time video.